Giving Garden.
Hello, Grow Food Northampton community. I'm Elena,
And I'm Melissa.
I think we're right on the dot at 12:30, and here we are. Yep, we are on the dot. Hardly do that. So here we are on this very hot day in the Giving Garden at the Grow Food Northampton Community Garden, and we're in this little pop-up tent. You can see we've made this little shade structure. We brought it to the garden because we wanted someplace to rest in this hot day. So yeah, this is what we're going to talk about today. So here we are in the Giving Garden. We're going to talk about tomatoes because it's tomato planting week.
It's time for tomatoes.
Yeah, these are not even all of the tomatoes we're planting. We're going to be planting almost 10 whole beds of tomatoes that we can give to all of our community partners. That's Manna Soup Kitchen and Northampton Survival Center and East Hampton Community Center and Starlight Center, all in Northampton, where we donate the food for people who couldn't otherwise afford it. So yeah, this tent might blow away, but I don't think it will. So here we are, and you can see, if you remember from last week, this rye was like probably a foot shorter last week, and now it's it's getting there, my height. And we have our beautiful crimson clover as a ground cover.
I was really noticing more of those.
Yeah. We have an understory of crimson clover growing. I just love the way the bright red shows up against the blue of the rye.
Crimson and clover, the understory.
Yes. So yeah, I wanted to talk about tomatoes because we're going to be planting tomatoes and they're really special. So here's our tomato. Here's one of them. I think this is a new girl. So we have many varieties. We have about 6 varieties of tomatoes that we're planting, and they were grown by Sawmill Herb Farm in the greenhouses right on our land at the community garden. And yeah, people talk about different ways of growing tomatoes, and we plant them.
I switched it. Hold on.
Oh, it's okay.
I put my thumb. How do I get it back?
There we go. Oh.
All right, and we're back.
Sorry for the
Little
technical difficulty. Welcome, Community Garden, the Giving Garden, and I'm like, hiding in the shade of this pop-up tent. If you just joined, I'm Elena, and I'm here with Melissa, camera person. And today is one of the tomato planting days. Later this evening, we're going to be planting tomatoes, if it doesn't stay too hot, and tomorrow. And so I wanted to show you these beautiful root balls of this tomato as I was just testing them to see whether they were ready. Look at that. Check that out. So beautiful. It's a little bit tight. We're going to be separating those roots a little bit when we plant them. And I wanted to talk about how when we plant tomatoes, we're going to be cutting the nodes to leave 1 or 2 nodes above the ground. So
what's a node?
A node, great question, Melissa. It's where the leaf comes out or the root comes out. So what we want to do, you probably can't see on the video, but there's all these tiny little hairs on the tomato, and they will turn into roots. And when I cut, so I'm going to do a little demo of what I'm going to do later this evening when we plant tomatoes. I'm going to, with my cutters, cut these, and probably this one too.
And I notice you're cutting it very close to the stem.
Yeah, I'm cutting it close to the stem, but I'm leaving a little bit. I'm not so particular about it, but I just want it to be a smooth, clean cut. So that's why I use pruners and clippers. And then I have this beautiful plant that I'm going to actually bury in the ground so that the roots will come out of all of these places along the stem.
Oh, wow.
And be a really, really healthy plant. And then it can grow, as tall as me or even taller. New girls, they're indeterminate, which means that they keep growing. They produce fruit and then they keep growing. Their stem keeps growing and growing, and they require a lot more pruning than determinate plants. So, you know, hard to believe, but this plant is going to be taller than both of us. You know, someday not too far away. So I want to take this plant and, well, actually, yeah, I'll take this plant and show you the post hole digger, because that's how we're going to be that's how we're going to be digging the hole so we can plant the tomato.
Let's do it. What are in these beds here?
Yeah, you can see that our zucchini and summer squash and cucumbers are planted, and they're all covered by the row cover. We put hoops and row cover, and you know, we're protecting it. At first we were protecting it from the cold because there were some very cold nights like a couple weeks ago, but then now we're actually protecting it from disease and the cucumber beetle, which carries certain diseases with it, like bacterial wilt. So, you know, long story short, we're trying to cover them.
And here's our asparagus.
Oh yeah,
check
so
that out.
tall. That probably grew another few inches.
Anybody have any questions or comments?
Oh yeah, and also there's so many ways to grow tomatoes and to plant tomatoes. Maybe someone has an idea. I mean, I want to ask the audience, how do you grow tomatoes? And I know that, you know, there's so many different ways people do it. I even watched a video about how some people grow, and maybe you do this at home, some people grow tomatoes on their side. They like plant the roots in a shallow hole, the stem, and then they prop up the tomato.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Like that, so that roots can grow all like that, sideways.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't want to do it that way, but you know, I think it works. So we've already started digging. This is one of our tomato beds. We use black landscape fabric because, you know, it's very convenient mulch and it lasts for a long time, many years. And I burned holes into it at the right spacing for tomatoes. And then we're going to be able to use this over and over again. And then, you know, it's a lot less work to be able to maintain it and to prune it and then not have to weed it.
Yes.
So some people use mulches, and you know, in the future I'd really love to grow other things like rye and have the rye die back and become a really beautiful mulch. But for now we use this black landscape fabric. So also we use drip irrigation at the Giving Garden. I'm just gonna lay this plant down like that. We use drip irrigation, which is really convenient. There's a line that runs all the way down this bed beneath the landscape fabric. Can't see it now, but you know,
There it is.
It's there, and that's how we're going to be watering all the tomatoes.
Which is a very efficient way of watering.
Yeah, it's cheaper. Well, let's get this out of here. All right, so here's our post hole digger. It's a very convenient tool, and it works so well. So I stick the post hole digger in this pre-cut hole, and I'm going to remove the dirt slowly. And you know, it works like, and then you squeeze it together. You just want to make sure you don't cut a hole in that drip irrigation, which is why we put it to the side. So, let's see. Let's see if it's big enough. I'll put my tool to the side. I'll take my plant. I'm just testing it, you know, to see the depth. So let's see. All right, it's getting there. I think it could be a little bit deeper, and then we could cover a little bit more of the plant. And so, yeah, maybe I'll do one or two more digs. The way that I'm going to plant it, I'm actually going to wait. So I'm going to plant it in the evening when it's a little cooler, because that's the best time to plant. You know, early morning, evening. I don't know if people watching have a preferred time when they like to plant their seeds or their little transplants. you know, if I plant it now, then, you know, it's just gonna get all of the heat of the day right in its face. So, so another thing that I'm gonna do when I plant it this evening is I'm going to take a little, like probably this size container of some compost and put it in the hole also. And then I'm also going to take a spoonful of blood meal. So blood meal is an organic fertilizer that I'm using to add nitrogen that's going to slowly release over time. And you know, I heard that this blood meal was really good to put in the tomato for tomato planting, and our friends at Abundance Farm do it at the other side of Northampton. And also we did it last year and it worked out really well. We add a spoonful of blood meal mixed in with the container of compost into the hole at planting time. We water it really well. Also, my favorite kind of fertilizer to use is often the fish fertilizer, like fish and seaweed mix. It's a liquid fertilizer, and you only need like a few drops of it in the water, and then it gets diluted. Yeah, and you know what? Ultimately, you really want the bacteria life in the soil, and the fungi and the bacteria and the nematodes and the earthworms to be able to fertilize the plants themselves.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Benjamin.
Hey, welcome. If you're just joining us now, I'm Elena, and we're in the Giving Garden on this very hot day, and I don't think it's even gotten as hot as it's going to get today. I think it says 90 later today, so
It's a scorcher.
you know, I don't know if that usually happens in May, but you know, this is what it is. We have our newest member of the Giving Garden team. Audrey, do you want to wave?
Hi, Audrey.
That's Audrey. She's helping us this summer.
She's weeding our carrots. Thank you.
Yes, she's weeding the carrots. She is a Mount Holyoke student, and we're really, really happy to have her join the team. It's her first day here today, and so you know, we're growing our Giving Garden team. We also have community gardeners that help us every week on Mondays and Thursday mornings and on Wednesday evenings.
They're the best.
Yeah. So this is like the tomato prep. So basically for the next few hours, or actually I hope it will take less than that, the team of us are going to dig all of these holes, probably, you know, 10 inches or so or more. And it's okay if it's a little too deep, because then we can always fill in loose soil, and that'll be really nice for the planting. So we're going to dig all the holes to prepare for the tomato planting this evening. We're going to plant 4 different varieties of tomatoes. Yeah, maybe people have favorite tomatoes that they plant. We're planting New Girls is a variety. We're planting Defiance that has some blight resistance in it. We're also planting 2 different kinds of cherry tomatoes, which I'm very excited about. Sun Golds and Cherry Bombs, which I've heard are very tasty, but I have never had the cherry bomb, or I've never grown it, so we'll see how it goes.
Benjamin says you're a rock star.
Thanks, Benjamin. So yeah, so you know, we're gonna muscle through this 90-degree day today, and then hopefully when it gets a little bit cooler, we're gonna get to planting all of these beautiful tomatoes that are gonna grow taller than us, if you can even believe it.
Drink lots of water.
Yes, we're gonna drink lots of water, and yeah, if you're going out today to garden, make sure to hydrate. And you know, that's why we have our handy pop-up tent over there that we can always go to the shade if we really need it. Yeah, thanks so much for watching, and maybe next week we'll talk about, maybe the rye will be flowering. Maybe we'll actually go through the process of crimping it, which is something that we're going to do after the rye flowers before it goes to seed, and that'll help with the cover cropping. And yeah, maybe the lettuce, I think we're going to harvest our first lettuce next week, which you can see right over there. And yeah, we're just taking it step by step. So thanks so much for watching, and yeah, see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.